welcome to Leah's Reading Corner. Hey guys, it's Leah and welcome back to Leah's Reading Corner. Today I'm going to be reading Sideways Stories from Wayside School Part 3. I know it's been a long time since I read this book, since the second part I read it. So I decided to read the third part of this book. Now let's begin. We stopped at chapter 13. Okay, let's listen. Chapter 3, Rondi. Rondi had 22 beautiful teeth. Everybody else had 24. Rondi was missing her 2 front teeth, and those were the most beautiful teeth of all. Your front teeth are so cute, said Mrs. Jules. They make you look just adorable. But Miss Jules, said Rondi, I don't have any front teeth. I know, said Miss Jules. That's what makes them so cute. Rondi didn't understand. Ooh, Rondi, I love your 2 front teeth, said Mauricia. I wish I had some like that. But I don't have them, said Rondi. That's why I love them so much, said Mauricia. Oh, this is silly, said Rondi. Everybody thinks the teeth that I don't have are cute. I'm not wearing a coat. Don't you all love my coat? And what about my 3rd arm? I don't have one. Isn't it lovely? Love your hat, Rondi, said Joy. I'm not wearing a hat, Rondi screamed. That's what makes it so interesting, said Joy. Don't you think so, Leslie? Oh, yes, said Leslie. It's a very nice hat. Nice boots, too. I'm not wearing any boots, Rondi insisted. Yes, said Joy. Very nice boots. They go so well with your hat. What hat? said Rondi. Yes, Leslie agreed. Rondi showed excellent taste by not wearing the hat or the boots. They go so well together. Rondi had enough. She covered her head so nobody could see her hat. She put her feet under her desk so nobody could see her boots. Then she closed her mouth tightly so nobody could see her 2 front teeth. Suddenly, everybody was sitting near her began to laugh. What's so funny? Asked Todd. This joke Rondi didn't tell, said Jason. Ask Rondi not to tell it again, Todd, said Calvin. Rondi, said Todd, don't tell it again. Rondi was horrified. She didn't know what to do. She kept her mouth shut and just stared at Todd. To her amazement, Todd laughed. Hey, everybody, called Todd. Listen to Rondi's joke. Rondi didn't say a word, but the rest of the class began to laugh. Miss Jules got very angry. She wrote Rondi's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. The classroom is not the place for jokes, she said. But Miss Jules, said Rondi, I didn't tell a joke. Yes, I know, said Miss Jules, but the funniest jokes are the ones that remained untold. Okay, said Rondi. If that's what you want, then that's what you get. I'll really tell a joke. That way I won't disturb the class. And tomorrow I'll wear boots and a hat. Of course you won't like them as much as the ones I didn't wear today. But I better hurry up and tell my joke before you all start to laugh. There was a monkey sitting in a banana tree. He was very hungry. He knew that somewhere in the tree there was a magical banana, and that once he ate the banana, he wouldn't be hungry anymore. He ate 1 banana. That wasn't it. He was still hungry. He ate another banana. That wasn't it either. He was still hungry. Finally, after he ate his 10th banana, he wasn't hungry anymore. I knew I found it, he said. It's too bad I didn't eat that one first. I would have had to waste all those other bananas. Nobody laughed. Nobody had even listened to Rondi. Miss Jules was busy teaching arithmetic, and everybody else was paying strict attention. Rondi slapped herself in the face to make sure she was really there. She was. The bell rang for recess. Rondi ran outside. She was very upset. Lucy, your teacher, saw her. Why the frown, Rondi? He asked. Come on, smile. Let me see your cute front teeth. Rondi screamed. She shocked Louise in the stomach. Then bit his arm and with her missing teeth. And that kind of bite hurts the worst. Chapter 14, Sammy. It was a horrible, stinky, rainy day. Some rainy days are fun and exciting, but not this one. This one stunk. All the children were wet and wore smelly raincoats. The whole room smelled awful. Ooh, it stinks in here, said Maricia. Everybody laughed. But she was right. There was one good thing. However, there was a new boy in class. New kids are always fun, except no one could even tell what the new boy looked like. He was completely covered up his raincoat. Class, said Miss Jules, I'd like you all to meet Sammy. Let us show him what a nice class we can be. Leslie walked up and smiled at Sammy, but her smile quickly turned into a frown. You smell horrible, she said. Leslie, exclaimed Miss Jules. That's no way to greet a new member of our class. Miss Jules wrote Leslie's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. But he does, Miss Jules, said Leslie. He smells awful. You're ugly, Sammy replied. Now, Sammy, that's no way to talk, said Miss Jules. Leslie's a very pretty girl. She's ugly, said Sammy. Allison spoke up. Well, you smell horrible and are probably even uglier. But nobody can see you because you are hiding under that smelly old raincoat. That will be enough of that, said Miss Jules. Now, Sammy, why don't you take off your coat and hang it in the closet? Let us all see how nice you look. I don't want to, old windbag, said Sammy. That's because he's so ugly, said Leslie. I'm sure he's quite handsome, Mrs. Jules said. He's just shy. Here, let me help you, Mrs. Jules. Mrs. Jules took off Sammy's coat for him. But underneath it was still another raincoat, even dirtier and smellier than the first one. They still couldn't see his face. Ooh, now he smells even worse, said Maricia. You don't actually smell like a rose either, Sammy replied. Mrs. Jules took off his second raincoat, but there was still another one under that. And the smell became so bad that Mrs. Jules had to run and stick her head out the window to get some fresh air. You're all a bunch of pigs, Sammy screeched. Dirty, rotten pigs. The smell was overpowering. Sammy just stood there, hidden under his raincoat. Mrs. Jules wrote Sammy's name under the word discipline. Sent him home on the kindergarten bus, said Joy. Not with me, said Todd. Mrs. Jules held her nose, walked up to Sammy and removed his raincoat. She threw it out of the window, but he had on still another one. Sammy hissed, Hey, old windbag, watch where you throw my good clothes. Mrs. Jules put a check on Sammy's name on the blackboard, next to Sammy's name on the blackboard. Then she took off another raincoat and threw it out the window. The smell got worse, for he had on still another one. Sammy began to laugh. His horrible laugh was even worse than his horrible voice. When Sammy first came into the room, he was 4 feet tall, but after Mrs. Jules removed 6 of his raincoats, he was only 3 feet tall. And there were still more raincoats to go. Mrs. Jules circled his name and removed another raincoat. She threw it out the window. Then she put a triangle around the circle, and then another one of its coats outside. She kept going until Sammy was only 1.5 feet high. With every coat she took off, Sammy's laugh got louder and the smell got worse. Some of the children held their ears. Others could hold one ear because they were holding their nose with the other hand. It was hard to say which was worse, the laugh or the smell. Sammy stopped laughing and said, Hey, old wingbat, if you take off one more of my coats and throw it out the window, I'll bite your head off. They smelled too bad for me to allow them in my classroom, said Mrs. Jules. You can pick them up when you leave. They smell better than you do, pighead, Sammy shouted. Mrs. Jules didn't stop. She took off another one of his coats, then another and another. Sammy was only 4 inches tall, 3 inches tall, 2 inches tall. At least she removed the final coat. All that was there was a dead rat. I don't allow dead rats in my classroom, said Mrs. Jules. She picked it up by the tail, put it in a plastic bag, and threw it away. Mrs. Jules didn't allow dead rats in her class. Todd once brought in a dead rat for show and tell, and Mrs. Jules made him throw that one away too. I'm glad Sammy isn't allowed in our classroom, said Rondi. I don't like him very much. Yes, said Mrs. Jules. We caught another one. Dead rats were always trying to sneak in Mrs. Jules' class. That was the 3rd one she caught since September. Chapter 15, Dee Dee. This story contains a problem and a solution. Dee Dee was a mousy-looking kid. Unlike most children at Wayside School, she liked recess better than spelling. As soon as the recess bell rang, she would jump up from her seat and run out the door. There were big signs in the Wayside School on every floor. No jumping down the stairs. Dee Dee never seemed to notice the signs. She jumped down the stairs. Some children took the 2 stairs 2 at a time. Dee Dee took them 10 at a time. That was the way down. It was funny. She never seemed to be in a quiet the same hurry on the way back up. There was another sign on Wayside School, no cutting across the grass. Dee Dee must not ever have seen that one either. She cut across the grass and ran up to Leahs, the art teacher. I want a green ball, Dee Dee said. The green balls were the best. I'm all out of green balls, said Leahs. Okay, then I want a red ball, said Dee Dee. The red balls were just about as good as the green ones. They didn't bounce as high, but actually sometimes you don't want a ball to bounce too high. I'm all out of red balls too, said Leahs. Do you have anything left? Said Dee Dee. Dee Dee meant anything besides the yellow ball. Besides the yellow ball. There was one yellow ball at Wayside School, and Leahs was always trying to get rid of it. It didn't bounce, and it never went the way it was kicked. Anything at all? Asked Dee Dee. Today's your lucky day, said Leahs. I have one ball left, just for you, the one and only yellow ball. No thanks. No thanks, said Dee Dee. Oh, come on, take it, said Leahs. Why don't you ever have any green or red balls? Asked Dee Dee. I do, said Leahs, but the other children ask first. By the time you get out here, they're all gone. But that's because I have to come all the way down from the 30th story. How do you expect me to complete with the kids from the first of second, she asked. That's why I saved you the yellow ball, said Leahs. Everybody wanted it, but I saved it just for you. I bet, said Dee Dee. She took the yellow ball and bounced it on the ground. It stopped dead with a thud. She stepped back, ran up and kicked it. It went backwards over her head. She didn't bother chasing it. Instead, she played hopscotch with Jenny and Leslie. She thought it was disgusting. The next day, Dee Dee asked Mrs. Jules if she could go to recess early. Why? Asked Mrs. Jules. So I can get a green ball before Leahs gives them all away, said Dee Dee. I'm glad you have a good reason, said Mrs. Jules. Yes, you may, but first spell Mississippi for me. Spelling was not Dee Dee's best subject. By the time she finally got it right, she was 5 minutes late for recess. She jumped down the stairs, cut across the grass, and ran up to Leahs. There was no green balls left. There was no red balls left either. However, there was still the yellow ball. Dee Dee played jump rope with Joy and Mauricia. It was no better than hopscotch. So Dee Dee's problem was to figure out a way to get a green ball, or at least a red ball. You already know that this story also contains a solution. Dee Dee figure it out. See if you can too. Remember everything you know about Dee Dee, Wayside School, and Mrs. Jules. Hint. The next day, Dee Dee brought a cream cheese and jelly sandwich, some nuts, and shredded cheese in her lunchbox. Here's what happened. Just before recess, Dee Dee smeared the cream, cheese, and jelly all over her face. Then she stuffed her mouth with nuts and hung the shredded cheese from her nose. Then she closed her eyes. She She looked just like a dead rat. Todd was in on the plan. Mrs. Jules, he called. There's a dead rat in the classroom. Mrs. Jules was very put out. I want that dead rat outside immediately. Then Mrs. Jules said when Mrs. Jules said immediately, she meant it. Dee Dee instantly found herself outside on the playground. I want a green ball, she said. Louis pretended that he hadn't heard her. May I please have a green ball? Asked Dee Dee. Louis gave her a green ball. I don't know how you did it, Dee Dee, but you're first today, he said. When Mrs. Jules found out that Dee Dee and Todd had tricked her, she sent Todd home early on the kindergarten bus. Dee Dee threw the green ball on the ground. It bounced 50 feet straight up in the air, and then she caught it. You don't like me, do you? She asked Louis. Sure I do, said Louis. No, you don't, said Dee Dee. Yes, I like you, said. Yes, I like you, said Louis. No, you don't, Dee Dee insisted. Yes, I like you, I really do, said Louis. Are you sure? Asked Dee Dee. Yes, said Louis. Don't you believe me? I guess so, said Dee Dee. Do you like me? Asked Louis. You bet, said Dee Dee. You're my best friend. Terrific, said Louis. I always wanted to be best friends with a dead rat. Chapter 6. We're gonna stop at Chapter 6, DJ. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you loved this video. Subscribe my channel, click the like button, and click the bell. And I want you to know that last month was my birthday, so I was 9 years old. And you can still get me books to read. And comment down below if I should do a part 4 or 5 of Sideways Stories from Wayside School. So subscribe my channel, click the like button, click the bell, and I'll see you next time. Good. Bye!